What is up, baseball fans? Welcome to another Wednesday night of action here on the Out of the Park Developments channel. I am Kris, aka Snaggle J, Associate Community Manager for Out of the Park Baseball. And tonight we are going to be once again jumping into our Montreal Expos franchise. Tonight we're going to be doing the 1983-84 off season. As always, guys, if you missed last week's stream or any of the streams in this so far, I think we've had 6 or 7 parts, maybe. Feel free to head into the video section here on Twitch, or you can head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OOTP Developments. Make sure you hit that big subscribe button over there. We do host all of our archives on there as well. Of course, a couple of orders of business not related to the Montreal Expos. First of all, guys, if you guys are not following us on Facebook, or Twitter, facebook.com/OTP Baseball, twitter.com/OTP Baseball. We had a major announcement yesterday. Out of the Park Baseball 19 is now going to be available on EA's Origin platform. If you guys are EA Origin Access subscribers, and what that is that is a $4.99 a month subscription that gives you access to a ton of PC games available on Origin. You will be able to play OOTP 19 for free when it drops on March 22nd. It's going to be available to Origin Access subscribers. So a cool new way for people to get access to Out of the Park Baseball. Now, if you just want to pick it up on Origin, you can pre-order it right now for 10% off. It will be 10% off right up until March 22nd when it launches. Also, you can pre-order it. We can't pre-order it. You can add it to your wish list currently on Steam. Unfortunately, Steam policies prevent us from having pre-orders on there. But on Steam, it will be 10% off for the first week after it launches. And of course, you can head over to otbdevelopments.com and pre-order right now and get 10% off on there as well. Second order of business, I'm going to be putting a link in the chat at various points throughout the stream. If you're watching this on the archive, it's going to be in the video description down below. We are going to be doing an official Out of the Park Baseball meetup in Boston, April 6th. It's going to be at the Beer Works #1 in the shadow of Fenway Park. What better place to have an Out of the Park meetup than at Fenway Park, right across the road? It's going to be Friday, April 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm going to be there. Community Manager TJ Lauerman is going to be there as well as our Chief Marketing Officer, Rich Grisham. It's going to be a hell of a time. Space is limited, so please, if you are interested in coming to that, if you're going to be in the Boston area, or if you're a Boston resident and you're interested in coming out to the meetup, hit the link in the chat. Go sign up. Like I said, we are limited to about 25 people, and we've had some great interest in it so far, so don't delay. If you want to come hang out with the OTP guys, bring your suggestions. We'll pick. You can pick our brains. We'll pick your guys' brain as well, and it's going to be just a general good time talking about baseball. So really, really looking forward to that. But now, let's get into our Expos franchise. If you weren't here last week, for the second straight season, we got swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the NLCS. 3-0. Despite the fact that we had 103 wins, we had a great season. Our pitching was fantastic. We got into the playoffs, and again, we got swept. We came close to winning Game 2, but Jeff Reardon blew it in the 9th. So the whole idea of this offseason is, what the heck can we do to be better than the Dodgers? That's a problem that we're going to have. Let's go jump in, check out our email real quick. Zen Lost, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream, dude. As always. So we have some personnel leaving. Now, we've only been really managing the Major League personnel, so I am going to go in and see what I can do about these guys. We do have the offseason beginning today. And we did lose Spaceman Lee, which is something we discussed on the last stream. So let's go into front office. Let's take a look at personnel. So we are missing an assistant GM. Wow. So let's see. So somebody who would like to be a GM. I'm not really sure. I mean, I feel like for us, we need to rebuild our minor league system. It's kind of a problem that we have right now. Our minor leagues are not great. They're not very deep. So somebody like Damian City, who is Italian, which is interesting. He heavily favors prospects. He does favor power and offense as well. The scout value is a 4. Current year stats. I mean, he seems like he could be the kind of guy that we could offer a contract to for the assistant GM job. So we'll see what we got there. Let's go back to our front office, personnel. So now we need a pitching coach and a hitting coach again. I am the GM and manager. I'm just that good. We have Kris Harville, our bench coach, who's inexperienced. He's very controlling. Not really, that great of a guy. I mean, we could look at replacing him. So let's see. So let's look at people who are looking to be pitching coach. Let's see. We'll do coach tendencies, reputation, decent, average. I mean, we don't have anybody. There's not really much out there in terms of good reputation players. I mean, those are the people who have preferred. Yeah. All right. Pitches, focus, ground ballers, neutral, finesse, ground ballers. Power pitchers is kind of how we've built our team so far. Yeah, we've kind of built our team around power pitchers, low ballers. Yeah. Interesting. We got some interesting options here. See, like we got somebody like Travis Durham. He's 45. His pitching focus is neutral. He's not interested in being a manager. Good for him. His reputation is decent. Yeah. I'd really like to find someone who has like power pitchers. But then again, trying to find someone who has decent. So we've got Jay Ringstaff, who does have 19 years of experience. Not interested in being a manager. He focuses on power pitchers. He's worked well with veteran players in the past, which is kind of where we're getting. So he could be good as our pitching coach. We'll see what that comes up with. Let's go back here. We want to see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see what we can get for hitting focus. Again, we have a very good hitting team. We just need somebody to steer the ship for us. And again, we have a lot of guys who are, we have a very good mix of power, speed, contact with guys like Raines, Willie Wilson, Gary Carter. We have Bob Horner now, Andre Dawson. I mean, we have a very good mix of different players in our lineup. So, I mean, for us, I kind of maybe just want to go with somebody with a good reputation. We've got some guys with a decent reputation here. So we've got Dusty Bartz. We got Chris Griffith, who was our hitting coach. I don't really see any reason why we shouldn't bring him back. We've done pretty well under his guidance. He's not interested in being our hitting coach anymore, so rip that, I guess. We have Willie Meza, Greg Thorson. Willie Meza is a neutral. Not interested in being manager. Has worked especially well with young players, which could be good for us. So let's do that. All right, so let's move on beyond that. Let's go to salary arbitration. This is going to be a costly venture for us. We do have a lot of guys up for salary arbitration this year, which is pretty rough. Yeah, you can see Bill Gullickson, Charlie Lee, and Scott Sanderson. That's literally, not even kidding, 50 wins worth of starting pitchers at arbitration. We have Jeff Reardon, our closer, who's going to arbitration. We have Ken Phelps. We have Tim Raines is going to arbitration. We have Bob Horner is going to arbitration as well. So we have a lot of players who are going to arbitration this year. I do like the amounts. I don't really see any amounts in here that kind of turn me off. Looking pretty good. I think Bob Horner, this is probably his first time in arbitration. It is his first time. So, oh no, it'll be his third time, right? He's got one more. Expires after the 83. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. 500 grand for Bob Horner's not bad. We probably won't win that. In fact, I might bump that up just to 500 just to see what happens. So let's do that. Brad Golden. I mean, we're not even offering it to him. Tom Dixon, I like. But at 28, he was 1-0, 445. He only pitched 28 innings, and he was in Double-A. So probably someone that we don't need to necessarily offer arbitration to. Brad Golden at this point is our third catcher. He was pretty good but the thing is, yeah, we're looking at probably like 150, 160 grand for a guy who's going to be at best our third catcher. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen. We do have some pending free agents. Dave Kingman and Bill Russell qualify as type B free agents. Dave Kingman, we literally signed in like September, like off the street. So I mean, we could offer him arbitration and see, if potentially somebody takes a dive at Dave Kingman or Bill Russell. I don't think it's likely that anyone's going to sign them with draft picks attached, but stranger things have happened. We got a bunch of guys in the minors here, none of which, I mean, Shooty Babbitt is 24 in A-ball. I'd sign him just for the name, but I think we're going to move on from that for now. When we look at the off-season center, there are some really, really big names available. If you remember at the end of the last stream, we've gotten a nice bump to our budget. So we are going to have some money to play with. So somebody like an Alan Trammell could be very attractive. We've been setting ourselves up for a run at Pedro Guerrero, but I just don't know if we have a place for him to play. But that's possibly a problem for another day. You can see the Dodgers World Series champions. That just hurts. That hurts my feelings. Hurts my feelings big time. So let's see. Arbitration period begins. Let's go to mail. I got to delete some of this mail. Let's delete all messages because there's nothing there I need to see right now. What did he? Yeah, so Damian City signed on to be our assistant GM. Welcome. I hope you're going to be as good of an assistant as I expect you to be. My first order of business will be, could you please fetch me a coffee? Had some people remark that I was a little tired on last week's stream, which was true. Definitely not unfactual. That we were a little tired on last week's stream. All right, so let's move up to, let's get through the award season. We can go through and read off who won what. We could probably do that from our mail. Oh, we got Willie Meza has signed on to be our hitting coach. Ripken Jr. looks like he might satisfy a need. Yeah, probably. Off-season center. So we can go here actually and see some of this. So let's go down. Oh, we don't need to see AL. We don't need to see AL. Let's stick with the NL. NL. Gold Glovers in the National League. Here we go. So we do have 3 Gold Glovers yet again on the Expos. Gary Carter has won the Gold Glove for catchers. Willie Wilson and Andre Dawson in left field and center field, respectively. Ozzie Smith, who we traded last season in the middle of the season, wins. So we could have 4. Man, we could have 4, which is fine. Lee Smith wins the National League Reliever of the Year award. He had 36 saves last season. Goose Gossage wins it in the AL. Let's go up to here. Oh, Davey Lopes traded in the middle of award season, which is not surprising. Let's go. Platinum Stick Award winners. Gary Carter wins it behind the plate, 287, 28 homers, and a 6.4 WAR. Tim Raines wins it at second base, 324, 7 homers, 77 stolen bases, and 7.4 WAR. Andre Dawson wins it in center field with a 287 average, 28 homers, 29 stolen bases as well. Awful close to that 30-30 club for the Hawks. So again, 3 Platinum Stick Awards for the Expos. Rookies of the Year, Ivan Calderon wins AL Rookie of the Year for the Mariners. San Diego's Tony Gwynn wins Rookie of the Year. Tony Gwynn, he went on to have a pretty good career, didn't he? Rob Deere, who finished second, not so much. Tommy Lasorda wins the National League Rookie of the Year. Ralph Houck wins AL Manager of the Year. Alan Trammell signed an extension with Detroit, which in the middle of award season is crushing because he was someone we were definitely going to consider. American League Cy Young goes to Mario Soto, who, if you guys will remember, was somebody we courted very, very highly in the last offseason, the 82-83 offseason. We really made a hard run at Mario Soto before eventually settling for John Candelaria. He wins the AL Cy Young, 26-4, 273 Ks and 283 innings. Shane Raleigh and Bob Ojeda finished second and third. In the NL, Jerry Royce wins the National League Rookie of the Year or Cy Young Award, 21-3, 159 ERA. Fernando Valenzuela second, Larry McWilliams third. Mario Soto also wins the AL MVP, and Jerry Royce wins the NL MVP. So both the American League and the National League had the same guy win AL MVP and Cy Young and NL MVP and Cy Young. I don't think that's ever happened in baseball history. That could be a first. I don't think that's ever happened before. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that one for the old post-stream research. All right, let's go back to our off-season center. So Alan Trammell is off the board. Alan Trammell off the board. Okay, so let's go to our salary arbitration hearings. Arbitration hearings. So we have to play one day, and we'll get a bunch of emails. So Bob Horner, we won. Bob Horner got the $500,000. Bill Gullickson gets $358,000. Charlie Lee gets $212,000. Ken Phelps gets $95,000, which is good. We won that one. That one saves us $60,000. I see a lot of pitchers win MVP in my games. That's why I usually make them ineligible to win now. I don't disagree. I do find that can happen. Sometimes the pitchers just become too dominant. Yeah. Tim Raines gets $400,000. Jeff Reardon gets $225,000, and Scott Sanderson gets $371,450. So, taking a look at that, looking at our finances page, right now it says that we do have some money available. We do have about $3 million available. I'm looking at you, Greg Maddux. Yeah, Roger Clemens falls into that boat in a lot of my 80s and 90s sims as well. So we do have a lot of money here. Taking a look at our salaries, guys, as we head into 1984 and what we have committed. This is what we have committed right now. We have Andre Dawson, Gary Carter making over $1 million each on the books for another couple years. Gary Candelaria is making $929,000 for the next 2 years, and he's going to make $1 million. He signed through 1988. Warren Cromartie, we're going to have to try to move him. He's not playing really at all. But, I mean, he had a good year last year, but we're not using him. 296, 7 homers, 36 RBIs. I've had a lot of people in the comments, in the chat, on Facebook, get at me saying I miss using Warren Cromartie. We just have not had results. I mean, he had 199 at-bats in 1982. He had 176. And the guy's making $700,000. So let's see if we can, right off the hop, let's see if we can get rid of Warren Cromartie. We have Bruce Sutter, Richie Zisk. So not really much being offered. I mean, I could handle Bruce Sutter to throw down in the bullpen. I mean, he's pretty good. 2.62 ERA, 2.35 ERA. We're going to trade Cromartie to the Dodgers, and then he's going to just absolutely become a wild animal down there. Yeah, I don't hate this trade. It frees up $380,000 of salary for us. I like that trade. Like I said, we're not using them. So why would we continue to do that? Let's go 40-man, active, from on the active. There we go. All right. Season center. We're back. Who's missing? Someone's missing. Someone else missing from there. Okay, so that's good. So we have some money available, which is good. Tomorrow, so free agency is going to file today. Richie Hebner, Jim Dwyer signing. So now we're going to finally be able to look at where we're at, what we need. Where we're at, what we need. So let's go take a look at our rosters. Let's take a look at our player list. So our active roster right now, let's filter it out by pitchers. That's batters. I mean, we're going to do that in a minute anyway. So here's a look where we're at right now. And let's do just default ratings. So we can kind of see. Let's go by position, though. So, I mean, right now, our starting rotation is pretty much set. We have Candelaria, Jim Clancy, Bill Gullickson, Charlie Lee, Scott Sanderson. Nothing to be done to the starting rotation. All 5 guys are coming back next year. Jim Clancy is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. But right now, all 5 of our starters from 1983 are back. Good. Bullpen, still have Mike Caldwell. Still have Dale Murray. We now have Bruce Sutter, Jeff Reardon down there. So we're absolutely loaded in the bullpen. So really, we don't have to spend any time looking at our pitching rotation. We're good. We're good in the rotation. Man, we got to find a way to get Cesar Valde in there. That's a different problem for a different day. So really, bullpen, starting rotation, everything's good. Pitching staff's good. No attention required. If we could find a cheap upgrade, maybe pick up like a long man now that we don't have Spaceman Lee. But, I mean, realistically, our pitching rotation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we could use a long man. Okay. Ooh. We could even use John Dobson as the long man. Piece of cake, right? Batters. We've got Gary Carter. Not going anywhere. First base, Mike Hokut is now going to be penciled in as our everyday first baseman. We called him up last year. Yes, he only hit .231, 3 homers and 17 RBIs in 49 games. But you know what? He's our first baseman of the future. Dude's 22. We're going to ride it out. Second base, Tim Raines can play second base if we need him to. We've got options there. Bob Horner is going to be at third base. Shortstop, we've got some question marks as to what we're going to do there. Outfield, we've got Andre Dawson. We've got Willie Wilson. We've got Chris Smith. We've got Roy Johnson. We've got Cesar Valde, who's coming from out of nowhere and probably going to play himself into an everyday role. Double-A last season hit 22 homers and 99 RBIs. And then in 10 at-bats with us, he hit 400. And he's looking good. He's looking real good. could be the kind of guy that we strongly consider trying to find spots for. So again, we've got, we've got options. We've got options. Like that's kind of, I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, okay. So we do need to address shortstop, which is why Alan Trammell was such a desirable option with the money that we had. So really, we have Carter behind the plate, Hokut at first, Raines at second, Horner at third, Willie Wilson in left field. Can Cesarvalve play right field? He plays first base and left field. Can Willie Wilson play right field? Can anybody play right field? Nobody. Nobody can play right field. This is terrible. Either way, I mean, we're looking at an outfield of Willie Wilson, Andre Dawson, and somebody. Possibly Cesarvalve, possibly Roy Johnson. Either way. Okay, so we're basically looking at this from anything we do is purely cosmetic upgrades. When we're looking at high potential guys, we have Juan Bautista, who played in A-ball for us, had a homer, 40 RBIs, 70 walks. Man, 384 on base percentage. Let's go. Let's get that going. Is one of our higher potential guys. We got Mark Lemke still. We got Luis Rivera, Armando Moreno. We got Miguel Fitch. So we've got some guys. We've got some guys. We don't have anyone really like super special that we need to be worried about. Again, that's why we kind of went after an assistant GM who has a preference towards prospects, because that is somewhere I'd like to really try to improve, is our prospect area. So Bill Russell, we offered arbitration to, hoping that he would decline it and go get us a draft pick. He accepted it. So he got $199,000, which is great. He's back. He could end up being our starting shortstop. Dave Kingman filed for free agency, declined arbitration. So hopefully somebody signs him. I am not hopeful at all. So let's jump in. It's free agency time. Tomorrow the draft pool's announced, so we'll worry about that tomorrow. So looking at our offseason summary, everyone's way down, but we're down the least. We're second in wire gained. I mean, we're down -0.7, which means we did a great job of keeping what we had, which is good. That's really good. So let's go. We'll look at pitchers first. Again, we don't need pitchers, but we'll see what's out there. Raleigh Fingers is a very interesting name, but he's 37 now. Roy Lee Jackson, Dave Goltz, Gene Garber, Joaquin Andahar. But again, nothing really super exciting. Jim Palmer, a lot of older guys. There's no John Candelaria, Mario Soto kind of guys. Again, Joaquin Andahar, probably the top guy available. And again, starting pitching for us, not a need right now. Let's move on. Lance Parrish is available behind the plate. We don't need a catcher, so it's not really a consideration for us, but he's going to be a nice acquisition for somebody. Probably going to end up being around $1 million a year. We got first base, Rod Carew, Al Oliver, so some older guys. Al Oliver had a really nice couple years after we traded him. 53 home runs, 237 RBIs, and a couple of seasons batting over 320. So I feel like we definitely lost that trade with the Yankees, where we traded Tommy John, or got Tommy John. Second base, Doug DeCinces, Damaso Garcia, Bump Wills. Again, not really anything super exciting. Third base, you have Pedro Guerrero. Who we will come back to, because Pedro Guerrero does solve our right field problem. We have the money. The question is, at this point, do we do it? We'll come back to that. We got Toby Hara out there as well, who is currently injured. He's out right now for how long? Just a little while. One day. He's pretty good. He's mildly hurt. Had 26 home runs with the Yankees last year. So not bad. Let's go to shortstop, where we have a huge need. There's literally nobody available. So we may try to fill the shortstop from within. Dale Berra is a young guy on there. Trade. We could make a trade as well. Especially if we sign a major league player. We could try to make a trade. Left field. We'll get Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith available, ladies and gentlemen. Big bad Lonnie Smith available out there. 277, 8 homers, 59 RBIs last season. Again, mostly a contact player. He's going to fetch a very big commitment from a team. We look at center field. Again, we've got Pedro Guerrero, you get Lonnie Smith, you get Dwayne Murphy, you get Ken Landreau out there as well. Dwayne Murphy going to fetch, again, he's demanding off the hop $1.13 million. Dwayne Murphy, potential to be the highest paid player in baseball after this offseason. Let's go here for a minute. Remember, guys, this is OOTP Night Around the World. I am Snaggle J, Kris Jardine, Associate Community Manager for Other Park Baseball. TJ Lauerman will be here with his Cleveland Indians franchise. He's going to be starting the 1993 season tonight, I believe. And then the franchise hockey manager guys are going to be here at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys tune in. 3+ action-packed hours of simulation sports action here on the Out of the Park Developments channel. If you're new here and you're watching live on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button up at the top of the screen. We recently hit 1,000 followers. Thanks to all you guys for being absolutely wicked and supporting the channel. We appreciate that very much. And then right field, again, Pedro Guerrero, so the same guys. Oscar Gamble, Terry Pull, who's Canadian. Let's sign him because he's Canadian. Not sure what I enjoy more, the mechanics of the game, flashing back and hearing those player names. It's a good combination of both. So, I mean, this has been the moment we've been waiting for a long time. Pedro Guerrero tailed off significantly, I would say. 8 fewer homers, 26 fewer RBIs, but his on-base percentage and average were up. His slugging was down a bit. His OPS was about the same. His WAR was way down. Natural Snaggle J strategies. He's Canadian. Let's sign him. Hey. Facts. Absolute facts. I feel like, oh my God, he wants 10 years. 10 years? Oh my God, never in a million years would I give him 10 years. We'll go 6. Get rid of the option. Let's throw an opt-out after 3. And then we're going to bump these up. We're going to backload it. Most valuable player awards were 65. So we're going to offer him. We're not offering him 10 years. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ludicrous that we would offer him 10 years. We're not getting into that. I'm effective immediately. I'm instituting a 6-year maximum on all contracts. There you go. Done. But I mean, Guerrero, look at that. He's got an MVP. He's got a Gold Glove. He's got 3 All-Stars, 2 Silver Sluggers, 2 World Series trophies, and 3 World Series MVP. Oh, he's got a World Series MVP and 2 NLCS MVPs. Both of those against us. All right, let's do it. We're doing it. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it live. Free agents. I wonder, upcoming free agents, is this next year or this year? It'd be next year, right? Lots of big free agents next year. Lots of them on our roster. Bob Horner, Jeff Reardon, Ozzie Smith. So, I mean, looking at this, guys, 1984 might be the year that we have to do it. 1984 might be the year that we have to go for it and make this work. This might be our only chance. Okay, so let's explore some trades. We have literally nobody on the trading block. Team needs right now. We don't need a second baseman. We need a shortstop. We don't need we need a shortstop. We need a major league shortstop of, I like superstar quality. Feel like superstar quality is probably the way to go. All right, let's finish today. We're gonna have our draft pool announcement. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the franchise, is being able to see the new draft pool guys who we might be able to pick up. So here's a look at the draft pool. You can see Jacob Brumfield, Jim Rebele, Brian Dorsett, Nelson Liriano, Stan Jefferson, Glenn Allen Hill, Bill Moore, Doug Carpenter, Wayne Harrison, Kevin Ward. So if we go into the league menu, go to transactions, draft, pool. Let's see what we got. So our highest overall players. So again, so we got some. If you're looking at potential, we've got Glenn Allen Hill, Edgar Martinez, Brett Saberhagen, Marcus Lawton's in there, Yorkis Perez. This must have been a pretty weak. This must have been a pretty weak draft. Wow. Yeah, this draft was weak. This weak sauce draft. I mean, obviously you've got Edgar Martinez, but beyond the first couple of picks, this draft. Jose Manzanillo, though. Jose Manzanillo hype. Yeah, this draft sucks. It's not great. I mean, we're picking like pretty much dead last anyway. I think we're picking towards the back half. So yeah. Definitely not good. Not a great draft. It's going to be good for somebody, but not for us. So Pedro Guerrero is impressed by his offer. Obviously, we offered him a lot of money. So not surprisingly, he's impressed. Lots of teams interested. According to this, we got us, Oakland, the Yankees, Pittsburgh. Lots of interest in Pedro Guerrero, which is not surprising. I don't even need to check the emails. I don't even need to check it. You see it on the screen at the bottom in the recent signings. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Guerrero is a Montreal Expo. Whatever, we lost our first rounder. No big deal, because this draft is terrible. The fans are ecstatic because we signed Pedro Guerrero to a 6-year deal worth $6.9 million. He does have an opt-out after the first 3 years that I hope he exercises. So there you go. So now, okay, can I just say, can we just look at this for a second? Wait, we have to make the transaction first. Let's throw them up there. Active roster. Okay, now let's go back. Lineups and depth charts. Ask for bench coaches. Okay. Well, that's not right. Who's missing? Okay, we're going to have to fix this. First of all, Pedro Guerrero. We need to set his position to right field. Okay. Then let's ask for the depth charts. Okay. For those of you who are old school baseball fans, I am going to read you our opening day lineup if opening day was right now. Tim Raines, Willie Wilson, Pedro Guerrero, Bob Horner, Gary Carter, Andre Dawson, Mike Hokut, Bill Russell. Mike Hokut and Bill Russell aside, and I think Hokut's going to be unbelievable in this lineup. Raines, Wilson, Guerrero, Horner, Carter, Dawson. Andre Dawson's going to hit 6th for this team. Are you kidding me? Who's pitching opening day? John Candelaria. That's who. John Candelaria is going to be pitching opening day with his 20-8 record. So, and we've got Candelaria, Gullickson, Jim Clancy, Charlie Lee, Scott Sanderson, who combined last season had, 96 wins. 96 wins in the starting rotation. No. Sorry, that's 86 wins. Still, 86 wins. And then look at our bullpen. We got Bruce Sutter, Jeff Reardon, Dale Murray, Bryn Smith, Mike Caldwell. Loaded. And free agency is 3 days old. 86 and 42, as Zenlas correctly points out. And the highest ERA, 3.40. Again, I said it at the outset of the stream. 1982, win the division, swept by the Dodgers in the NLCS. 1983, 103 wins, win the division, swept by the Dodgers in the NLCS. 1984, with a lot of big money we're going to have to pay out in the offseason to guys like Raines and Bob Horner and others who are going to be hitting free agency. What's the one thing that we could do to draw even with the Dodgers? Take their best offensive player and put him in our lineup. The Montreal Expos have called a press conference for later today where it's expected that their suave, super cool GM, Kris Jardine, is going to announce the signing of Pedro Guerrero to a 6-year, $6.9 million contract. Everyone is said to be very pleased. 520 games, Guerrero's hit .316, 576 hits, 71 doubles, 16 triples, 87 homers, 309 RBIs. Again, taking their best player and putting it in our lineup. Because you look right now, the Dodgers on the offseason, in the bottom 6, they're down 7.6 WAR. We've added 5.9 and we've made one move. Because the Dodgers lost Landro, Garvey, who is a negative. Like, the Dodgers are hurting. They lost Guerrero. And we added Guerrero. Which is great. And we added Bruce Sutter. Also from the Dodgers. We're literally just Dodgers picking now. That's kind of where we're getting to. Okay. So let's go off-season center again. Because at this point, I don't really think there's really anybody else like that we're super interested in. I mean, we go to our roster and we look at the entire organization and we split it out by shortstop. Bob Horner can play shortstop? Not very well. No, he's sticking at third. Any good Rays players? It's 1984, man. The Rays don't exist. We're still 13 years away from the Rays. We got a ways to go before you're going to see any Rays players. So, I mean, really, we don't really have a top-level shortstop on our roster. So, like, is it worth... I mean, we don't want to rush Juan Bautista. So, at this point, when we look at our lineups... So, we're kind of wasting... Alan Trammell, we had our eyes on Alan Trammell Neely. He was a free agent. We had the money for him, but he re-signed with the Tigers on a long-term extension. Cessa Falve, I wonder if we could parlay him into something. I wonder what people may offer up. Probably not anything that we want. So let's go logs, no, we'll go league, reports, positional rankings. No, I can never find this where I want it. Yeah, we did it. We had eyes for Alan Trammell. We did. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted. We don't really want to list all MLB players. Let's go find the player. So we want to find anyone. Okay, so first of all, where is hitters? Shortstop. We want at least a 3-star overall. Okay, so let's search. So we got one free agent, Bump Willis. Can we get Ozzie Smith back, please? Dave Conception. Well, we'll see who's available here. So we've got lots of guys. Lots of young guys. California has 2 young stud shortstops in Mark McLemore, who is in the major leagues, hit 273, and Dick Schofield, also in the major leagues, hit 284. California could be a team we look at making a trade with. Chicago's got Sean Dunston. I always love Sean Dunston. Tigers have Alan Trammell still. I really wish we could have got him. Dickie Thon's kicking around in Houston. Mariano Duncan, Paul Molitor, Randy Reddy, Robin Young. We want only really primary shortstops. Julio Franco hit 341 last year for the Phillies. How do we get that in the lineup? Yeah, Sean Dunston is definitely... we got Spike Owen, got Buddy Bell, Tony Fernandez, and Tony Fernandez. Okay, let's see. Let's start with Tony Fernandez because, again, Jays. We want to look at all players? No. I mean, right off the bat. I mean, obviously, we're joking, right? We're joking for sure. So then what do we have after that? I mean, we have Luis Rivera. And Mark Lemke. See, again, they don't want, like, how... Yeah, see, they're not going to give us... That's what's going to be hard, is we don't have the prospect depth. Like, I mean, I don't really want to go to, like, Cessa Falve and Juan Bautista. And even then... They don't like it. That's a problem. That's a problem for us right now. Where was Sean Dunston with the Cubs? Is he in the big leagues? He is. He had 289. So, I mean, what happens if we want to make it work now? They have no player that makes it work. So teams are really valuing their shortstops at a very high level right now. So that becomes problematic for us because we have, if everyone is overvaluing their shortstops, that's going to cause problems for us because obviously teams are not going to want to trade their shortstops. Just based on those initial two, trade offers. You know, we're offering maybe not comparable talent, but we're offering players that, you know, could get the job done. which is a problem. And you look at our strength overview, we're first in catchers. Again, when you look at shortstops, we're way down there. We got Bill Russell. Not great. So maybe we'll just let's leave that for now. Of course, we're interested in Tony Fernandez, but you don't want to trade him to us. Look at some other signings. Dave Goltz goes to Baltimore, so the Dodgers lose another piece. Lance Parrish signs with the Yankees for 5 years, $4.8 million. Rod Carew goes to the White Sox. So the Dodgers do get a replacement for Pedro Guerrero by signing Dwayne Murphy, 4 years, $3.77 million. Seattle signs Lonnie Smith for 4 years, $2.52 million. Nolan Ryan signs a 1-year deal with the Rangers. Dan Ford goes to Houston. Bob Jones goes to Seattle. Lots of really interesting guys left, and we have a lot of money left. We have $2.8 million for $2.8 million right now for signing players. I don't really want to go after Joaquin Andahar, but I will. All players shortstop. Ooh, so that's all they have for shortstops is Bump Wills. And he hasn't been playing a whole lot. The last time he had full appearances, it was 632 at bats. He had 234. So he's trending drastically downward and is very bad defensively at shortstop. So that's a problem. So like none of these guys are worth spending our money on at all. Let's go all batters. We know we don't need pitchers. So Toby Harris still out there, and then it drops off. We got Bob Boone, Doug DeCinces, Damaso Garcia, Oscar Gamble, Ron LaFleur, Al Oliver, Carlton Fisk, Sixto Lizcano. Get Larry Boa, and when he retires, sign him up as manager. Where's Keith Hernandez hanging out nowadays? I think he's with the Mets. I don't think he's doing anything, though. Oh, he's in St. Louis. It's in St. Louis still. He's not doing very well. 263, 7 jacks, 73 RBIs. So not great. He's not great. Logs, let's go reports. We want to do... Let's go back to here real quick. Shortstop. Search. We could get Tim Wallach back, but he's not a good defensive shortstop. How good is Cal Jr.? Not bad. 2 seasons into his major league career, he's had 26 and 29 homer seasons, 84 and 93 ribbies, 295, 278. So far, so good. He is not on an Ironman pace. How difficult would it be to get Cal? Probably impossible. Probably very impossible. Given, again, it's hard for us because we just don't have the prospect depth that we need to make it happen. Again, whoa. Jose Canseco. 19-year-old Jose Canseco. Something to think about for next time. We just don't have the prospect depth to make a trade. Again, as we showed earlier, we have probably the best lineup in baseball with Raines, Wilson, Guerrero, Horner, Carter, Dawson, Hokut, and Bill Russell. I'm okay with having Bill Russell be our shortstop. He does provide some solid defense. Not great defense, but he doesn't strike out a lot. He has 80 avoid Ks. So he's going to put the ball in play, which means he's going to pick up some cheap RBIs because the 7 guys in front of him are going to be on base 38% of the time. I mean, that's the thing is to give up a ton for a shortstop, probably not a smart move for us, just from the standpoint of we don't really have much to give up. We just don't really have much to give up. That's kind of our issue. So the winter meetings begin and end. Hall of Fame voting begins, so let's go do that. We'll do our Hall of Fame voting, and then we'll probably jump out of here. So we'll see some guys who are available. 23 players on the ballot. We have Orlando Cha-Cha Cepeda on there. Don Drysdale. Jim Fragosi's on there as a first time. Harmon Killebrew. Juan Marichal. Roger Maris is a holdover. Brooks Robinson, Brooks Robinson got 61% last year. Probably going to get enough this year. Joe Torre got 58% last year. Billy Williams got 56%, which is interesting because you don't really think of Billy Williams as like being super awesome, but he had 426 home runs. Looks like you need first baseman more. What? Are you on crack, man? Mike Hokut is the future. You look at these minor league numbers, 342 last year in the minors, 30 homers, 91 RBIs, 18 stolen bases. We're going to give him a chance. Donnie Baseball's not a bad idea. I don't even think, is he around yet? He is. But now that the Yankees have let Al Oliver go, Donnie Mattingly is going to be their everyday first baseman. Man, don't be doubting Mike Hokut. We have faith in him. 22 years old. We're going to give him a chance. We're finding these guys out of nowhere. We're finding them. We're out here putting in the work, man. We're doing what we can. Gotta get Harmon Killebrew on there. Yeah, Cepeda should be on there. I think I voted for Dick Allen last year. I kind of regretted it, but I think I did to put him on there. Excellent. And we're going to go up to this, and then we're going to stop. Going to load our minor league database. Look at all the red. Look at all the red leaders. Doesn't mean a thing because we can't get by the Dodgers in the NLCS. Huge problem for us. Check the mail out real quick. It's the first year player draft. You can see Edgar Martinez is in this draft. Brett Saberhagen, Glenn Allen-Hill. But guys, that's going to do it for me. A very productive first half of the 1983-84 offseason. As we sign Pedro Guerrero, we trade for Bruce Sutter. Very productive start of the offseason. Make sure you guys stick around because TJ Lauerman, a.k.a. That Sports Gamer, is going to be here in a couple of minutes with the continuation of his early 90s Cleveland Indians franchise. He made some nice moves in his offseason last week. So make sure you guys stay by and check that out. As always, guys, if you're new to the Twitch channel, make sure you guys hit that follow button up at the top of the screen. Follow the channel. We are live here every Wednesday night for 3 full hours of sports management action. As always, I am Kris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J, Associate Community Manager for Out of the Park Baseball. And until next time, keep swinging for the fences.